Okay, today we are looking at the products of whole numbers. We're going to do something just a little bit different. So I've given you a workbook to work out of. You're going to start on lesson 4. And the key idea on this one is that every whole number can be written as a product of factors. And what we're doing is we're going to call it a factor tree. So if you look down here at this, you've got what kind of looks like a tree. You've got two factors of 16 that work together to make 16. They did the same thing here. 4 times 4 equals 16, and 2 times 8 equals 16. So we're going to be practicing a little bit of that today, just for you to work on, and then we'll do a little bit more practice as a small group. So on here it says every whole number can be written down as products of factors. Remember, factors is like a factory. And that is making something out of smaller things. And another way to look at it as is that you can take this number, the number 2, for example, and you could break it down into two factors, the number 2 and the number 1. And it only has those two factors. You can't multiply it by 3, you can't multiply it by 0, or you can't multiply a number by 3 or 0 to get that. It's only 2 and 1. Number 16, on the other hand, has 3 different factors. And here we've got 1, 16. It's actually not 3. It's factor pairs. So there's actually a total of 5 factors. 1, 16, 4, 2, and 8. And I didn't count the 4 twice, or didn't count both of these because it's the same number. So you only count a number once. So if you've got a number multiplied by itself to get there, that's 1 factor. Okay, so let's actually do this. I want to try breaking these down into factor pairs. So we've got 10, and I'm going to start with 1. And on the opposite side, I'm going to put 10. Now, I know I'm not going to fill up this line, but I want to work on going out from the smallest, biggest combination down to the 2 that are closest to the same. So then we've got multiply it by 2. And to multiply, you have to multiply 5 times 2 to get 10. So that's what we do. And then I think about 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 times 4 is 12. So 3 is not a factor of 5. So if I were to write, nope, not 3. 4. So actually, let's do that. We're going to write them down, and we're going to cross off the ones that aren't factors. 4 is 4 a factor? We've got 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. So no, 4 is not a factor of 10. And once we get to 5 is the second biggest. So I know that 6, 7, 8, and 9 are not going to be factors of 10. So let's go ahead and do the same thing with 18. 1 times 18 equals 18. Then I'm going to try 2. 2 times 4, I'm just going to honestly count on my fingers. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. So right now I'm holding up 9 fingers. So 2 times 9 is 18. So then I'm going to go to 3, because that's the next number in line. We've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So I counted 6 times to get 6 as a factor, or 6 and 3 as a factor pair. Next, we've got 4. So I'm going to count by 4s. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So 4, not a factor. How about 5? We've got 5, 10, 15, 20. Nope, 5's not a factor. And the next number in line after 5 is 6. So we have found the factors. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors of 18. Now I would like you to pause the video and go ahead and do number 3. And when you're done, we'll come back, we'll unpause the video and we'll take a look at it together and see if we can figure out, see if you got the correct answer. So go ahead and pause the video. All right, so the factors of 25, we've got 1 on this side and 25 on this side. Obviously, that's the start. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. So 2 is not a factor. 3, we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So 3 is not a factor. 4, 6, 8, or I'm sorry, I totally did that wrong. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28. 4 is not a factor of 25. What about 5? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Oh, 25. I went too far, but 25 is. And it's 5 times 5. So we're just going to, I'm going to underline it because it's twice. 6 times 5, or 6 to 5. 6, or 6, does 6, is 6 a factor of 25? So we've got 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So 6, not a factor. 7, 14, 21, 28. 7 is not a factor. 8, 16, 24, 32. 8's not a factor. Let's try 9, and 9 will be our last one. 9, 18, 27. Oh, so 9 is not a factor. We know 10's not, because we've got 10, 20, 30, 40. And after that, we're going to start going back down to the lower numbers. So our factors of 25 are 1, 5, and 25. So there's a total of 3 factors. Now, what I would like you to do is go on to the practice. I want you to go ahead and do these. Pause the video. Do 4 through 7. And I'm going to, when you unpause the video, I will show you the answers to some of these. And you can go ahead and verify that it's correct. And if it's correct, go forward. If it's not, and you're having trouble with the concept, you're not sure exactly how to do it, raise your hand, and Ms. K should be available to come and help you pretty soon. If she's not, then I might be able to pop up, or Mr. R might be able to come over. But raise your hand if you get stuck, and then I'll talk to you again in just a minute. All right, go ahead. All right, so we are writing 27 as the product of 2 numbers. Well, I know that 1 times any number is the answer. However, I didn't go over the instructions with you, so I hope you didn't do this. We can't use 1 as a factor, so we're not going to do that. So 27, I'm 2. 2, I will tell you that if the number is not even, 2 is not going to be a factor. But 3 might be. We've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. So 3 times, and I held up 9 fingers as I counted, equals 27. Now I'm going to tell you another secret. If you look at the skip counting chart on the wall over by the calendar, and you look for the number 27 on any of those charts, if it's there, it's a factor, and you just need to figure out what you're multiplying it by. So number 5 wants us to write 27 as a product of a different way without using the factor 1. The question is, can you? The answer is no. And I'm looking at that those charts on the wall right now, and I only see 27 under the 3 and the 9. So I guess you could write it a different way. You could write 9 times 3 equals 27, but you can't use a different factor. So I guess I'll erase that. No, you can write it that way and that'll be correct. Now, number 6, we have a lot of options for 32. I look on the wall and I see 32 there a couple of times, and I know a couple myself that aren't there. One of them, if you look on the 4 chart, 32 is on there, and it is the 8th number. And can you find a way to write 32 as a product of 3 numbers? Now this is actually kind of interesting. I was wondering if any of you would get it. So if you didn't, that's okay, but there's a couple ways we can do it. We could split this number into 2 and 2 and do 2 times 2 times 8 equals 32. If you look at it, 2 times 2 is just 4. We could have also split this one into 2 numbers, so we could have done 4 times 2 times 4. So there's another way that we could have done it to get that same answer. Now, what I would like you to do is go ahead and do 18 through 11, and then you are going to do the reflect with me. So I want you to think of, try to look it over and then go on to MobyMax just to see if you get an idea, and we're going to talk about that one together because that one is a little bit more of a challenge. And that is the lesson. Thanks, guys.